Alrighty guys, so I made another trip to Goodwill and bought another thing that I don't need but I wanted. This is a Dell mini netbook type thing and I paid $20 for it. On the outside it's got usual scuffs and scratches and whatnot, and I can't open it with one hand, so give me a second. But I originally wasn't going to get anything from Goodwill. They have a ton of laptops up there. But this thing for 20 bucks seemed like it was in really good shape. Didn't come with a charger, but I figure being a netbook, it's probably not using anything more than a bog standard 65 watt AC adapter charger thing. So I took one from one of my HP laptops and it fit perfectly in there and charges the battery, which I haven't actually tested to see if it takes a charge. But it's got an Intel Atom CPU. It says it was designed for Windows XP, although I swear there is a worn off Windows Vista or 7 code on the bottom. But everything about the laptop seems perfectly fine. The one thing I noticed, and it does power on and boot, and I'll show you here in a second, if I actually press the power button properly. Come on. What the heck, man? It just powered up like 30 seconds ago. Okay, I'll be right back. Time to troubleshoot. Alright, take two of that. Apparently the power adapter just wasn't positioned quite right. It's not an exact fit, since it's an HP charger with a Dell netbook, but go ahead and power it up. It seems to have an issue with the keyboard, and surprisingly enough, before I mention the keyboard, this thing came with a hard drive. Goodwill never sells laptops with the hard drives included, but somebody was too lazy to take this thing apart to remove it. It's a 40 gig hard drive, but it comes with Windows XP on it that doesn't boot properly. And the one thing I noticed is a lot of the keys don't seem to work. I can press F2 and get into the BIOS, but the enter key, the arrow keys, nothing really seems to do anything. Let's see if I can get to the BIOS this time. Okay, so we're in the BIOS, and it's got an Intel Atom Z520 CPU. It's an Inspiron 1210 is the name of it, but it's got a Samsung 40 gig hard drive, and it looks like 1 gig of RAM. Hopefully that could be upgraded. What? Now I'm very confused. Now the arrow keys do work, and they didn't before. Or no, it wasn't the arrow keys, it was the enter key. Yeah, the enter key doesn't seem to do anything, nor does the down up arrow. So the side arrows work, enter key doesn't. So we might have keyboard issues, and maybe that's why it was donated. But I'm going to get an external keyboard, plug it in, and see what we can do. And neither does the F10 key, isn't doing anything either. So I'm thinking the keyboard's mostly non-functional. It could be that this thing was taken apart. Maybe there's a connection error or something from the keyboard to the main board, but I can't imagine keyboards for this being too expensive. And if I can get one for under 20 bucks, I'll throw it in there, upgrade the RAM, maybe put an SSD in it, and make it a nice little carry around for myself. But I'll be right back, guys. Time to go get a keyboard. Alright, keyboard is plugged in, and I did just test something real quick. While it was on the BIOS, I unplugged it and it immediately shut off. So that tells me that the battery is probably not taking a charge and is complete crap. The charging light is on, but I'm guessing the battery is no good. We'll see if we can get the external. Yeah, the external keyboard's working, so tells me the actual keyboard is probably toast. But that's fine. in all honesty. Hey, that's a blue screen. Unmountable boot volume. Okay. Either this drive is bad, it's got a virus, or Windows is completely screwed on this drive. One of the two. Well, one of the three or four. However many I said. I don't even remember. Let's try safe mode with command prompt. Unmountable boot volume. Okay, I'm not going to mess around with this version of Windows because it's XP anyway. So let me grab my Windows 10 installation USB drive and we'll just see if it'll boot Windows 10. So be right back. Alright, let's try booting Windows 10 now, shall we? The other reason why I picked this thing up is on one of the sides it does have a an SD card reader, which I use for these cameras. So this is going to be like my very mobile. I might be able to do very light video editing on this thing, although it would take forever. Being I'm pretty sure this is one of the earlier generation Atom CPUs. But it is loading the Windows 10 flash drive, so that's good. And the screen seems like it's in good shape. I don't know what resolution. It does include a webcam, so this might be my little portable like Skype chat web browser. I don't mind paying some money to throw a battery. Like I'll get the nice extended life battery and a keyboard. That's okay. This does not support 64-bit. Didn't even think about that. So, fuck. Plan B. I'm gonna go make another flash drive and another boot drive, and we'll talk to you guys in a... Alrighty guys, so I made a Windows 7 Ultimate 32-bit flash drive, and I'm gonna do a legitimate upgrade to Windows 10. If everything passes the way it should and it all works the way it should. Let's see. USB storage device, press any key to boot from USB. I'm kind of hoping, supposedly on one of the minis, there's a way to run a diagnostic on all of the laptop systems, like the keyboard and everything. You're supposed to hold down the function key while the system is booting, and it's supposed to go into a diagnostic mode. But that's for the Dell Mini 10. I think this is older than the 10, so I don't know if this has that capability. But I went looking online. Batteries for this are between 20 and 25 bucks. Keyboards are between 8 and like 15 bucks online. So this wouldn't be too bad. I'm kind of hoping I can upgrade the RAM to 2 gigs, because a gig of RAM is a little low, especially for Windows 7. Considering this came with Windows XP on it, that would have been fine. But Windows 7, it likes a minimum of 2 gigs. It'll work on 1, but it won't be a very awesome experience. I haven't tested to see if the trackpad works, so thank God it does. But the screen looks perfect. I don't see any problems with that whatsoever. No dark spots, no like permanent fingerprints. Doesn't look like it was dropped or anything like that. But I'm gonna let this do its thing. Install now. The setup's running pretty snappy so far. Haven't decided whether or not I actually want to take the thing apart. I'm probably going to do it anyway, because it probably needs thermal paste redone, and I should probably check to make sure that nobody's been inside it and only half put something together. Honestly, I should have done that before I started installing Windows, But yeah, who cares? Whatever. It's whatever. But alright guys, when this starts installing Windows, well, finishes installing Windows, because I'm going to be lazy and not pick up the camera, I'll get back to you. Somebody's coming for some attention. Hey, how's it going? And sneezed. Anyway, on to the actual part of this video. So I was going to flat out just install Windows 7, but this got me curious. There is still the original factory partitions on this drive, including the restore partition and the OS partition. So instead of just flat out wiping it, I made a Windows XP boot flash drive, and we're gonna try to at least get into Windows XP, maybe do a factory restore so you could see what this Dell originally came with software wise. So I'm going to see if I can get that to boot all the while. Just exit out of that. So shut down. So let's see if we can get this machine. Oh, that's not what I wanted it to do. Really? Okay. Forgot I have to use the actual keyboard. Come on. Alright, does it not see? Oh hey, diagnostics. Remember the whole diagnostics thing I was trying to get to? Well, I just found it. So we'll run System Diagnostics, see what happens. So once this finishes, I'll get back to you guys.